Welcome to another RBV25 show where we celebrate wins of the lock of the week and we celebrate losses of the lock of the week. Going 1-3 last week obviously was not, what I wanted to do. The fact of the matter is that Miami started off the lock of the week great with a nice win. But then disaster struck. Friggin' Navy lost to SMU. They basically lost in the first. They basically lost when they showed up to the game. Utah didn't play well. They didn't cover against Colorado. And then last but not least, the Philadelphia Eagles only won by 3 points instead of the 3.5 that I needed. Which just goes to show you in life, you need two fucking things. Don't leave 0.5 points on the table. Probably should have told the viewers to, go to 3 or 2.5. And number two, just make sure everything's okay, But what are you going to do? I mean, this is the RBV25 show. We're not professionals at this. If we were, I wouldn't be working where I work. So that's all you can do. All right, college football locks of the week. All right, the college football locks of the week are as follows. Since I don't have anything prepared, you're going to have to bear with me here. First off, I like Oregon over Washington, 9.5. But I'm going to advise everyone to get an alternate line at 9 points down to 7 after what happened to Philadelphia. I'm still angry about that, but what are you going to do? It's life, folks. And Rob V needs to move on. All right. Obviously, Oregon played a hell of a game against Washington. No, actually, they played Oregon State last week. Oh, that shows off to a great start. So they played Oregon State. They dominated them, from wire to wire. Bo Nix is a great quarterback for Oregon. He really runs that offense well. I'm not saying he's gonna light it up in the pros. Are going to be the Patriots' #1 draft pick, but I think he's going to play well against Washington. I also think that the Oregon defense is going to be able to slow down Penix. They're going to be able to slow him down enough. And I don't think Washington's defense is that good. You look what USC did to them. They really, were able to move the ball really well. In the last couple games, the defense has given up a substantial amount of points. So how I see this going is I think Washington's going to hang around, but I think Oregon's going to take over the second half. Basically due to, their running game is great. They have a good line. And, the defense will get enough stops to, push them over the 9. Or if you want, play it down to 7. That's the official lock of the week is to play it down to 7. But if it's 9.5, take it at your leisure. But Rob V is telling you to play it to 7 after fucking the disaster of the Eagles. All right. The second game is Georgia versus Alabama. Bama is the underdog by 5.5 points. Georgia's favored. You take Georgia here. They have a much better team than people realize. I actually think they're starting to get in their groove. I also think Bama got lucky against Auburn, as we all know last weekend. I think Georgia's going to be coming in at a good clip. They're going to be ready to play in the SEC championship, and they're going to be focused. Where Alabama, I think they're going to be on such a high from the big win in the last second, the dramatic win against Auburn. I think they're going to have a really hard time getting up for this game, even though it is the SEC championship. I just don't think that they'll be able to hang with Georgia. I think I think it is going to be a slugfest. But you take Georgia here, put that alternate line down at 3 points. That's the official lock of the week. Or play 5.5, and be risky. But either or, I think those are the college football locks of the week. All right, now let's get to, letters to Robbie V. Dear Robbie V, why don't you have a script this week? It's really disappointing that you weren't prepared for the show. Our loyal fans are really angry at you. What do you have to say about that? I do the best I can. That's what I have to say about that. And also, I'm Robbie V. I got to work. I got a job. Granted, if I work, I do have a job. It's good. Anyway, I'll be better in the future. We're just at a busy time at work. There's not much more I can do. There's only so many hours in a day, and I'm only one man, and I'm always keeping the viewers in thought. And by the way, the official lock of the week record is 23-15, which is good for, I think it's about 60%. I hope it is. It's probably like 62, 63%. That's according to Robbie V's Gorilla Math. You know, take it for what it's worth, folks. You gotta do what you gotta do. Anyway, all right. Let's move on to the NFL slate. All right. The first game that I want to talk about is the Pats versus the Chargers. The Patriots obviously really aren't that good of a team. We all know that. The Chargers are coming in, to Gillette Stadium, and for whatever reason, they're only favored by 5.5 points. I think we all know that you should, it's the lock of the week. You take the Chargers by, you can do an alternate line down to 3. That's probably what I would do. Yeah, you're gonna, excuse me, lose a little money on the, taking with the more points, less points or whatever. But it'll be a winner. You won't get caught by the hook. And what are you gonna do? The reason why the Chargers are gonna win this game, well, there's a lot of them. Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert for number one and number 2. I know he's questionable, but Keenan's gonna play. The other point is I think we need to touch on is the Patriots quarterback drama right now with Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi, and Malik Cunningham. I don't think anyone really knows it's going to start. Supposedly, it was reported that Bailey Zappi was smiling coming out of practice. I would not be smiling if I played like him against the Giants. He played like utter shit. Other than that, one touchdown drive. Mac Jones is completely lost. I think we all know that. There's really no debating that. Those 2 interceptions were absolutely horrible. I think the Patriots offense is going to fail to move the ball. No, I'm not saying the Chargers have the best defense in the world, but I think the Pats defense is, same scenario as last week. They're going to get worn down. They're going to, basically, they'll get worn down. They're not, the Giants didn't wear them down, but I think they'll get worn down by the Chargers offense this week, and eventually, Chargers are going to cover. So that's it. It's your third lock of the week. For the NFL. Let's see. The other lock of the week is what's it called? Since I did a lack of research, I didn't really have some locks of the week ready to roll here. But what are you gonna do? I think that'll end the lock of the week. So I'm just gonna go with 3 with this week. Actually, why not? Now that I look at it, why not go with the Dolphins? I know the Commanders are at home. The spread's now it's 9.5. Take the alternate line down to 7. But I think the Dolphins got a good shot. Washington played like shit last week against Dallas. They got blown to hell. I think we all know that, the Dolphins are going to come into this game hot, ready to go. And I think, Tua is going to have a good day. The Redskins really couldn't stop anyone last week. They lost 45-10 for God's sakes. They couldn't stop Dallas last week. They couldn't stop the passing attack. Dak had a freaking great day. I think Tua is going to have a pretty good day for fantasy purposes and whatnot. But it's the lock of the week, so that's the last lock of the week. All right, let's talk about my the Turpentine Fantasy League, which I'm currently number 2 in. The second ranked team. It's been a very competitive league so far. There's only one team eliminated, and for the playoffs, it's very competitive. And I've really enjoyed my time. I haven't paid my dues in this league yet. I owe $100, but I am in second, so hopefully I'll just won't have to. But that's not a good way to think about fantasy football. You start counting on that jalopy bullshit. It's just not going to work out for you. And that and I worry about that sometimes. Sometimes, not all the time. All right. I also don't think that so talking about dope of the days, lock of the weeks. I think Pittsburgh will beat. I think Pittsburgh's going to beat Arizona. I think that their offense eventually will put it together. If I had Detroit right now, kind of scares me. They're just not playing good football, and you really can't count on them to do anything right. San Francisco Philadelphia is going to be an unbelievable game. It's at Philly, and I think Philadelphia will win this. But the Niners have been looking good ever since the trade. In games that people really don't give a shit about. The Atlanta Falcons versus the Jets. I guess a real statement would be what's the over-under how many beers you would need to actually enjoy that game in the stands? I think it would be like 15 or 25, but that's just me. All right. Looking at my drafts here. All right. Let's get to the MVPs. Well, no, let's first talk about the Pats a little bit here. The Patriots really messed up drafting Mac Jones. Granted, that isn't like front page bulletin news, but these misses on draft picks has led us into this, current state that we're in today. And also, who the hell thought it was a good idea to sign Juju Schuster? I mean, the guy's a moron. He was never going to play that well here. And let's be honest, Devontae Parker is not the answer at wide receiver either. I just don't think. I think the Bill Belichick era for the Patriots should end. I wish he could end on a better note than this shit. I mean, this season, I have a feeling that he might be the one that makes the call on when he's going to actually go. But I think he should probably maybe get one more year to turn this around. But there's a part of me that believes that if the Patriots are really going to rebuild, Bill can't be a part of it because he's not going to be the coach. I mean, eventually he's just going to hang out on the vineyard and, talk about the time he stopped the Buffalo Bills keg on offense in the Super Bowl. I think Bill should hang it up. And that's Rob V's, thought of the day. Very, very invigorating. All right. I guess if I was who I would back this week for, other college football games, I actually would back SMU against Tulane. Well, I don't know. Scratch that. I guess the two big ones. Obviously, you take Michigan against Iowa. And obviously, I think you would, I think Louisville's going to be a hell of a battle. Florida State's going to be a hell of a battle. It's going to be interesting. I think Florida State should eventually probably win this game, but I think it's going to be a tough one. And I mean, Texas versus Oklahoma State, I don't know. Oklahoma State's been all over the place this season. I really can't. It's really hard to back them. You'd probably be better off going with Texas. But that's the way that goes. All right. Let's get to our MVPs. Zach Zinter on Michigan was the kid who broke his leg. It was a terrible injury, and I'm sure he was upset about it during the, when he put his hand in the air and inspired the masses of Michigan. Kudos to him for staying positive and making the crowd go nuts. Michigan also deserves MVP for defeating Ohio State. It was a great day to be a Michigan Wolverine. Dope of the day goes to my immune system, as I've been sick all week. My immune system needs to step up and actually fight off some diseases. Like, what the fuck? Goes to your aunt and uncle. Makes it. All right, whatever. All right. Jesus Christ. You know what? That's the end of it. Good times.